I haven't made a video like this in a very long time. And a lot of men that are in the dating industry, a lot of dating coaches cannot handle criticism. I mean, I think criticism is a great tool to use to improve your craft. Me personally, as somebody that's been working at this for a very long time, I love criticism. I mean, initially, I can see it being painful to have to go through, but ultimately, every time anybody's ever given me like legitimate criticism, something that actually does hit home in some way in the truth of what I'm doing, I improve so rapidly in terms of my coaching, in terms of my game with women, in terms of my charisma. I improve so rapidly from the criticism itself. So if you are somebody who's watching this video who has some ideological coach that you love, somebody that you hate, don't take this to heart. I'm meaning the best when I put this video out there. This is my honest opinion. There's no extra layers to this. I just wanted to talk about some coaches that I personally love, some that I don't like as much, and why I don't like them, in hopes that maybe one day they will improve. Maybe they'll hear this video and they'll be like, hey, I'm making mistakes. That's all good. It's all about improvement. And as a coach to a client, we're the ones that are supposed to be the leaders in this industry. We're supposed to be telling you guys what to do and how to improve. And if we're not somebody that is following or practicing what we preach, it's just falls on flat ears. It's just like, why are you going to coach people on how to improve when you don't improve yourself? You're not somebody that takes this craft seriously, and it is a craft. Being a good dating coach and being good with women is a craft in itself. It's a skill set that you yourself can learn and that any coach can learn. A lot of coaches get to this point to where they they improve, they improve, and they improve. They start putting out all these videos about how they're the greatest dating coach ever alive and how they're the best person to coach you, the individual. But I mean, it comes across it's very it pigeonholes them. And that's the problem. And when you get pigeonholed and you have to be the best person, you have to be the best dating coach alive, the best thing there's ever been, there's no improvements for you to make as a coach. And that's something that I don't like. As a coach that takes boot camps themselves, who gets coaching calls themselves, who has coaches in dating himself, who works very fucking hard to improve. I mean, I think you guys can see all the notes I have behind me. These are all my notes that I have. These are my field reports. These are the things that I use to improve because I know that I am not perfect. I'm not the pinnacle of game. I'm not the pinnacle of women. I'm not the pinnacle of charisma. And I can improve and I will improve over the next 5 to 10 years. I'll be this incredible human being. And in the same way, a lot of coaches get very narcissistic and unfortunately sometimes malignant around their results and around their progress. And if somebody were to say something negative about them, they take it to heart. Now, with that being said, I think a lot of the coaches on this list, I did make a big point to putting out coaches that I think are really great. I want to give them the spotlight, and I want to avoid the negativity as much as possible. I don't like being a dickhead. I don't like it. I think these guys are trying their best to be really good coaches. A lot of them are incredible coaches, but I want to give them the fair shake and not make them feel like they're attacked. Because that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is giving my honest review, my honest opinion. This, to be fair, is free coaching. You can consider it for other dating coaches. And a lot of these coaches actually have a lot more followers than me. They have more subscribers. I've been in this for a very long time. I've worked for so many different companies. I'm very vetted in terms of being a men's dating coach. But at the same time, too, I don't have the subscriber count or the view count that they have. So I can see a lot of people getting very tense or egotistical about taking my advice, being a person that only has like shy of 20,000 subscribers. But I'll put it this way. I am very fucking good at what I do. And the advice I give is coming from my heart and I mean the best for it. There's no marketing behind this. There's no negative. There's no attack that I'm meaning by this. I'm trying my best to give my full, critical, honest opinion about different dating coaches. So with that being said, we can get into it now. Actually, firstly, let's get into me. So Charisma King, what are the pros and cons of me? Pros, I'm very authentic. I mean everything I say and I try my best to walk the walk. And I'm also fucking gorgeous. I mean, like, dude, I'm pretty, dude. The cons of me actually are that I'm too much of a people pleaser. I do have a big problem with being codependent when I was younger, and I've worked on it quite a bit. Even my own clients I give so much to, and a lot of you guys know this if you guys are my clients. I have too much of a giving bone in me, and I'm also more quick to put myself at fault than to put anybody else at fault. And that's actually a problem in terms of coaching. If I'm like blaming myself for somebody else's progress, sometimes I will overlook the things that they can do to improve. So as a coach myself, that's something that I need to work on. And I want to be very honest about that. And yeah, I'm like, I care too much about being liked in this industry. I want to be good at this so bad and I want to be considered good at this so bad that sometimes it can hurt the integrity of my coaching. And that's something like very honestly and authentically that I can improve. And so firstly, I want to put myself on blast before I talk about anybody else because I do really admire a lot of the guys on this list. A lot of these guys are incredible fucking coaches. But I want to point out there too that I do also have mistakes and I do also have problems. This isn't like solely a me thing. We can all improve. And it's not a comparing yourself against him or her or this person. It's about comparing yourself to you and you alone. There's nobody else on your journey. There's nobody else that's had the same life situations as you, as who has the same sticking points as you, has the same strengths as you. And you need to give yourself a fair shake. You need to give yourself a fair assessment of your situation. Sometimes we as men's dating coaches and sometimes us as men who are coming to the men's learn seduction with women industry, we are too hard on ourselves. And that's the last thing you need to be. The last thing you need to be is too hard on yourself. So we'll get into somebody that I very much admire. Todd Valentine. Todd Valentine is a fucking hardcore genius. And I mean that in the most like literal of terms. He is a genius. There's only one coach that I know who's gotten good at game without writing and journaling and doing field reports, and that's Todd Valentine. He is intelligence RAM is just fucking unreal. The guy's a hardcore genius. He's like mastered not just dating, but chess, sales. He has worked in multiple different industries and has been successful in them. He's a professional, he's a semi-pro soccer player at one point. The guy is he's a phenomenon of human beings. And he's one of the few guys that when I talk about him, I'm like, he has come to some concepts. I mean, obviously we came to the concepts in different ways, but he will come to a concept that took me a long time to figure out. And we'll both explain it maybe in different ways in our own version of figuring it out. But when I hear a video of him explaining something that he figured out, I learned some new aspect of the idea that I just figured out myself. And I get more of a full 360 degree of what I'm working with. And there's very few coaches that actually do that for me. Most coaches just regurgitate and say the same shit that every other dating coach says. And Todd Valentine is very much somebody that walks the walk, talks the talk, and does what the fuck he's supposed to do. And that's very rare for a coach. Somebody that's constantly fucking improving. Most coaches get to a point, and it's actually it's common in most practices. So for example, in being a doctor, most doctors go through their doctorate, and they get to the end of it. And then from there on out, they don't study anymore. They don't continue to improve at being a doctor. And that their skill ceiling is now fucking just right there. And they cannot supersede their skill ceiling. And instead of like them actually staying at this level, they slowly decay over time and they get worse. And I see a lot of dating coaches get like this, where they refuse to improve, they refuse to get better, they refuse to consider themselves anything but the most perfect, optimal human being, the absolute best coach that there ever could be. And if you view yourself as that, then there's no room for improvement. A good dating coach should be somebody that's constantly improving his methods and getting better himself. If you're talking to somebody or listening to somebody who's not improving, there needs to be some reevaluating going on. And Todd is somebody that constantly improves, constantly gets better. Now, some negatives about Todd. He sometimes does. So when he was working with RSD, Real Social Dynamics, he very much got hurt by Real Social Dynamics. And honestly, Papa, the guy that worked for the company, was very douchey towards him. And for that reason, Todd got very juxtaposed to a lot of the viewpoints of RSD, which is very much about authenticity, the inner game side of things. And Todd does teach inner game stuff, but he did push very hard against it, moving very far away from the inner game stuff to move more towards outer game stuff. And that does make life a little bit harder for him in terms of coaching. But the coaching advice, so him and me on occasion will coach the same clients, and the advice he gives the clients usually is just spot on. It usually saves me a lot of effort in trying to figure it out myself. And then from there, I can help the client out quicker in terms of coaching. If you're somebody who's worked with Todd before and then works with me, Todd's advice usually is a really good base point for me to work off of. I've worked with a lot of guys who worked with multiple different coaches in the past. And whenever I talk to a client who has worked with Todd, usually the advice that Todd gives the client is super solid, very on point, and very pragmatic. I appreciate the fuck out of him. As another dating coach to a dating coach, appreciate the fuck out of him. Um, Another coach actually who's along the same veins, which I wasn't even planning on talking about him, but talking about this actually made me think about him a little bit. So I'll bring it up. Alexander Alex he's another RSD coach. His name is Alex Social. He has a lot of products out there, and I think he's so incredibly good with girls. I've actually been in the same clubs with him where we're both co-working boot camps. We're just working a boot camp on one side of the club, and I'm working on a boot camp on the other side of the club. And he'll be taking 2 girls home with him. Incredible with girls. Absolutely fascinating to watch. Um, and the advice he gives is incredible, and he really does seem to care about the clients. Now, I have had some friends who've worked with him, and he didn't seem super invested into being a dating coach, which I've had those moments too, to be fair. I've been considering on and off becoming a full-on life coach instead of a dating coach. And I get why now, in retrospect, why he wanted to do that. This is a very draining and very energy intensive field to be in. So I get that. I do think that he pushes, again, just like with Todd Valentine, he has one problem where, just like with a bad breakup, you almost get a bad taste in your mouth. If you drink one bad carton of milk, then you're not going to be drinking milk for 2 years afterwards. In the same way, I think that he heard the whole inner game shit and the whole lifestyle stuff, and it like it felt too robotic for Alex. Like for Alexander, it felt too robotic, I imagine, and that sucks. So some of my clients or my friends who've been on boot camps with them, if you're somebody who doesn't drink and you go on a boot camp with him, he's going to force you to get wasted on the first night of the boot camp. At least from what I've talked to with other clients. I don't know if he still does this. This was a while ago. This was like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. I don't know if he still does this, but I actually had a really close friend of mine who's very successful in the dating industry and also in life in general. And he went on boot camp with them, and Alexander was somebody that told him, "Hey, you're very much an RSD. Okay, cool. We're gonna get you wasted tonight. You're gonna get wasted, and you need to let go of that not needing alcohol. We need to loosen you up." And I think there's pros and cons to that. I actually will tell clients sometimes that if you need alcohol as a crutch, it's not a bad thing to use it as a crutch, but it's not something that should be consistent in your game or in your life. Like, there's no consistency behind alcohol. You drink one night, you get wasted, and now you're fucking done for the next day. You need consistency, and you need to be able to feel like this is you. And if you feel like you need alcohol to be like charismatic or masculine, is it really you at that point, or is it the alcohol that's speaking for you? And I want you guys to develop that skill without needing any kind of substance or drug to get you to that place. And so when you're a coach who's like forcing clients to drink and get wasted on the first night of the boot camp, that's not a very good look. And I think it's teaching the wrong premise for a coach. Alex is an incredible coach, by the way. I think he's awesome. But yeah. And by the way, too, I am going to be talking about a lot of clients I like and a couple I don't like. So this seems very positive upbeat. Yeah, I wanted to be a positive upbeat. I don't like being a dickhead to people that don't need it. And most coaches, to be fair, if I don't like you as a coach, I just won't talk about you. I don't see the point in tearing you down. It's just like I'm not the kind of guy to be a dickhead to you if it's unwarranted. Like, I'm not gonna be like bullying some random coach online for views. I know a lot of you guys probably want that. A lot of you guys probably thrive on the negativity. Some of you guys do, not all of you. But some of you guys probably clicked on this video because you guys want some drama. I'm sorry to say it. Yeah, there will be a little bit of drama in this video coming up, but that's not the point of this video, and I don't want that to be the thing. A lot of you guys are going to be racing to figure out which coaches I'm talking shit about instead of trying to improve yourselves. And that's the wrong viewpoint to take on this video. If you're like waiting for me to talk shit on somebody so you can go text them up and send them an email to tell them like, "Hey, Denton said shit about you," then you're watching this video for the wrong fucking reasons. Do you want to get good with women, or do you want to talk shit? Like, no guy that is a masculine entity is fucking talking to people he doesn't know about people he doesn't know. If you get what I'm saying. Why are you including yourself in drama? Like, that is a very feminine feature to be addicted to drama where it doesn't benefit you whatsoever. You're misusing your energy, and you're putting your energy in the wrong places to improve your life. So please, for the love of God, don't do that dumb shit. So is somebody that I think is extremely good with girls. I think he does give really pragmatic advice. He's very good with outer game stuff. Now, does he give a fuck about inner game? No. Is he somebody that I personally want to be friends with? No. Is he somebody that is very open-minded about game? No. But he is legitimately very good with girls. I've seen his infield. I've also dated girls who've been approached by him before, and from the sounds of it, he's pretty good at talking to girls. So when it comes to game, has it figured out. Another person who has really incredible game is actually Austin Summers. Austin Summers is fucking fluid as fuck. He's very much He's very much focuses on the basics, and he doesn't really go deep with his coaching. But when it comes to his game and his like ability to talk to girls, he's bar none. He's great. He's incredible. It's why he has so many good infields out there. If you guys actually look up Austin Summers, look at his infields, they're fucking nails. When I first saw his infield, I think like fucking like 7-8 years ago, I was floored. He's fucking great. Coached by one of the guys that I love, Honest Signals. So Honest Signals coached Austin Summers, and Austin Summers was his protege. And Austin Summers took what Honest Signals had, which Honest Signals also has great game with women too. He has great fucking infield out there. Austin Summers took it and fucking took it to the next level. He has an incredible fucking game. Now again, his advice is very fundamentals based. So if that's something you guys like, fundamentals based game, he's going to be pushing you guys a lot to approach. He's going to be giving you very fundamentals type conversations, but he's not the kind of guy to go deep with his coaching. So if that's something you guys like, fuck yeah. Dude, Austin Summers is fucking incredible. Ump's also a good coach too, even though him and me might not be the best of friends. I think he's not a bad coach whatsoever. Somebody else too, that actually I was surprised by. So I keep hearing you guys mention Trip Advice repeatedly, like all the fucking time. I've heard about him probably like 5 dozen different times. The guy actually, so I started watching his videos for the first time today. I have seen him in the past, like on occasion. He doesn't have a very recognizable face, so it took me a moment to kind of figure out to remember exactly who he is. But his advice was actually just like Todd Valentine's, very on point. So he has a video out about approaching, I think it was 2,000 girls or 5,000 girls in 2 years, or 2,000 girls in 5 years. Which again, it's like that's 15 times the amount of experience that I have. So that's the negative side on him, is that he just doesn't have the amount of experience that a coach like me does. But what he's done with the experience he has is indicating to me that he is very fucking smart, because he comes to like some crazy ideas. So he has a phrase that I know is not a phrase that is said by any other coach. Earn her respect, not her approval, which actually I have a phrase just like this that I only figured out literally 6 months ago. A man wants to be respected over being liked. When you're talking to a girl, you want to be respected versus being liked. You'd rather be respected than her think that you're a nice guy. And that's literally the core of masculinity. That's the core of this shit. And he figured that out with only like 2,000 approaches in 5 years. The guy's very clearly smart. And it's nice to have a mainstream YouTuber that's in the men's dating industry that is good at giving advice, like legitimate hard-hitting advice, because it's like too much of it is so watered down and just trying to be so Disneyland. And the Disneyland advice just doesn't give guys the actual legitimate feedback that they need to get to that next level. But Trip is not worried about that whatsoever. He's found a way to explain it to a mass, like major stream audience in a way that is digestible for them. And I was very impressed with him, actually massively impressed. I didn't want to watch him because he was mainstream, because I've just seen so many mainstream guys that suck at giving advice to men. And dude, fucking incredible. Another person that I do like is Coach Kyle. Coach Kyle, he's so cool that and it's unlike he's a guy that I would want to be friends with. He's somebody that I feel like I would click with, somebody that I feel like if you were to talk to him in person, you would probably qualify to. And that's a really good indication of good game. If you think that when you watch somebody on the videos and you say to yourself, hey, that guy I would want to be friends with, that's a really good indication that that person has really good game. If somebody to you is somebody that you respect in person, Again, a good indication that the guy is really good with girls. And his ex, I don't know her name really, but she's a beautiful fucking girl, and she was in a bunch of his videos. And again, he's another guy just like Trip Advice who, with very limited experience, who hasn't been in this as long as I have, has come to some really cool realizations. And again, it's just indicatory of like somebody that is very special, and I really respect the fuck out of him. And if you are watching this, bro, by the way, we need a freestyle rap sometime. That'd be sick as fuck. So Coach Kyle's been trying to get into rapping on and off, and I'm somebody who's been improving in that. Coach Kyle, if you watch this video, would love to rap with you next time you come to Vegas. We'll fuck it up. Now, with that being said, we can get into the next guy. Actually, next girl, Kezia Noble. Kezia Noble is one of the few female coaches that I think is fucking just nails. She gives great advice. She understands the male experience, which is very hard for somebody of the opposite sex to understand what it's like to be the opposite. It's hard for men to understand what it's like to be a girl. Very abstract. But in the same way, it's also very abstract on the opposite. It's very hard for girls to understand guys. And if she's a girl that understands men and understands what the situation like is for men, and again, that indicates somebody has a good ability to think abstractly, to think in a way of like putting themselves in somebody else's shoes, which shows empathy. Now, Kezia is looking very tired nowadays. She's looking not saying that she's a very beautiful girl. I'm just saying that she looks like she is just burnt up on the industry. I have seen her videos recently. She looks like she's feeling very burnt up in the industry. She feels like she needs to be in this because she doesn't have anything else to do. And when that's the case, it's a good point to switch industries, despite the fact that she might be a good coach. If you're feeling so burnt up on the industry to where like you feel like you're just falling off so hard, it's a good time to switch industries. Go into something else. She would crush it in lifestyle. If she's so fed up with teaching men how to improve, then she should teach lifestyle. Go to an adjacent industry. She would crush it in that. Uh, Shit. Now is the part where I get into somebody that I'm not really so fond of, and it's for obvious reasons. Like, there's no dating coach out there that will disagree with me, except for the dating coach I'm talking about, and he will make a video about this. He will. One of you guys is gonna be watching this video. You guys are gonna email him, talk shit about me. All good. You guys are at your place and time where that to you makes sense, where to you that makes you feel powerful. It's okay. All right. If you guys want to talk to him, send him messages, all good. But you have to understand, if you're that kind of guy who has a knee jerk reaction to send this guy's messages, you need to evolve a little bit. You need to like continue to understand that you're at a certain level and you need to get to the next one. If you feel the need to, if it makes you feel powerful to message up my competitor, like the guy I'm about to talk about, and talk shit and make him feel a certain way about me giving him advice or me putting this video out there, you need to really think about yourself in those terms. If you're not getting results with girls, it's because it's for the same reason that you want to talk shit about me saying something and then causing drama that's unnecessary. The same thing that makes you want to cause unnecessary drama is the same reason that girls don't like you, legitimately. So without further ado, we're going to talk about John Anthony. So there's been so many times where this guy's been such a evil guy, honestly, just evil. So I'm somebody that's so empathetic. It's hard for me to understand somebody that comes from a place that's so calloused, because I'm the guy who was bullied versus getting bullied, like versus me bullying other people. I was the one that got bullied in school. And so me understanding somebody that is like that is willing to pick on other people, it took me a while. It took me a lot of studying psychology to understand on a deeper level. But the dude is just, he's not at a point to where he will ever improve or get better. He is so wrapped up in narcissism and belief systems that there's nothing that I will ever say in a video that'll ever make him improve. I wish I could. I wish that I could, like, in this one video, make him a better person. But this guy's fucked over every person he's ever been friends with that I've ever known. Every dating coach hates him. And it's not like for lack of trying. A lot of these guys were originally friends with him, but then he just continually fucked them over. I actually had a conversation with Playing with Fire when he was friends with John Anthony. And I told him as a heads up, I'm like, dude, you know he's gonna fuck you over, right? And honestly, at the time, flew over his head. He goes, yeah, whatever. Well, fast forward about 6 months to a year later, John Anthony fucks him over utterly. And I wish I could be surprised. The guy is like, gets wasted drunk on boot camps, gets in fights, accuses people of shit that he's doing, which it's a common psychological term. It's the pot calls the kettle black because it sees reflection in the kettle. He's constantly accusing guys, like, which, to be fair, a lot of the stuff that he accuses other coaches of doing, if he were just honest and authentic about it, nobody would care that much. So, for example, John Anthony likes transsexuals, from what I understand. He made a video about how if a transsexual was a 10, it's a 10 as a girl as well. But before that, for years, he was accusing other dating coaches of loving transsexuals, which is like, again, whatever. If that's your thing, cool. But he was doing it in a way to where he was trying to attack other people for it. And I mean, I caught him for posting up fake reviews, for pumping the subscribers, pumping the views, paying for separate services to pump his subscribers and his views. And again, John Anthony's the type of guy to threaten to sue me after this video. All good, John Anthony. If you want to sue me, I guess. Dude, the fact that like you dish it out, but you can't take it is fucking ridiculous. Dude, the amount of videos you've made on me that were just false, straight up lying, it's ridiculous, dude. Like, I mean, you do zero research on a person, you make shit up, and then you put out videos about the person. It's kind of like, I mean, I wish that there was something I could say to break through to you, to understand that you were fucking up, that you could be something better. But there's nothing that I will say in this video that's going to make you feel better. Honestly, he's probably going to piss him the fuck off. I'm even saying anything negative about him. I haven't made a video about him in 2 years, and that guy went on a tirade. I think he made 3 videos about me afterwards. Fucking ridiculous. Just fucking wild shit about me. He doxed me, posted a picture of my mom, found like he started talking shit about the girl I was dating at the time. It pulled up the worst photo of her when this girl was a beautiful girl, but it found the worst photo when we're on a hike. She's sweating and like starts saying like, this girl's ugly as fuck. My girl cried for like fucking 2 weeks, bro. After you made that video, the poor thing. Like she was she didn't deserve that fucking like that energy. And now because of you, I don't ever talk about my relationships anymore. Dude, you're such a scumbag. Like, legitimately, look, if you're somebody who's thinking about doing dating coaching with John Anthony, or you resonate with it, there needs to be a leveling up period for you, because John Anthony he's a total scumbag. And if you're somebody that does resonate with his advice, you're somebody that's too hyper logical but not clicking into the sub cues. Basically, you're being took by autism. You're not good at socializing and reading people yet. You're not good at reading the undertext of words or conversations. You don't know when a girl likes you versus not. You don't know when you're making a girl uncomfortable. So when a guy like John Anthony is promising all these wild fucking things, you take it at face value, thinking you're being smart because he's like, Occam's razor. I know what Occam's razor is. That's a crazy term. That's this term that I learned in college. It's like just because he's using big words does not make him smart. The guy's refreshing and rehashing old RSD terms that he has learned and claiming they are his own, while also talking shit on RSD and talking shit on real social dynamics. He doesn't come up with shit else other than that. He fakes infield footage. There's a infield footage where Todd Valentine actually put out a video where he got like 20 numbers in some period of time, or 30 numbers in some period of time. And then John Anthony comes out of a video where he's like, I got more numbers than he did. Like, not so long, it was like a month and a half afterwards. Well, I got a hold of the full video. I don't know if I can find it after I shoot this. If I do find the video after I shoot this and I somehow get a hold of it, I will post it in the YouTube video. If I don't, we'll say it's hearsay. All right, this is not. If I don't find the video after I post this up, I'll put this in John Anthony's court to prove it wrong. But he had a video where he was getting a bunch of numbers. Then I saw the entire clip of the thing. I found it. One of my friends actually sent it through Mega Drive. It wasn't him getting a bunch of phone numbers legitimately. It was him pretending to be a promoter, pretending to be like, hey, I know this DJ or this or that. And that's how he's getting all the phone numbers. He wasn't like, hey, I find you attractive, and that's the intention of me getting your phone number. He was like, I'm a promoter. I'll get you this place. I'll get you this. I'll get you this. And depending on what the girl was into, he would mold for the fucking girl. And that's how you get the phone number. And that is very disingenuous, the way he cut it up, saying like, hey, I'm getting all these phone numbers because all these girls like me. When actually all the interactions were extremely platonic. And it's just, he is somebody who lies and is deceitful, somebody who is It's gonna come out over time. So the next like fucking like year or 2, 3 years, there's no way that you could be disingenuous for that long without being caught. And there's already enough people other than me talking shit on the guy. There are so many videos out about John Anthony and how he's a scumbag. I don't need to add to the fucking the pyre, the wood and the fire. He is not going to be somebody that stands around, that's going to be around for too long if he's going to keep fucking people over the way he does, including his clients, including his audience, including other dating coaches. Like, I could respect him if he's being honest. If I was fucking up and he called me out for it, I could respect that. But when you're bold-faced lying, you're fucking over your friends, you're fucking over your clients, you're lying straight up to everybody. There's nothing about that that's honorable or trustworthy. I just don't. There's nothing in me that ever wants to be friends with the guy, and there's nothing about me that says to me that girls would like an individual like this. There's nothing in his personality. It's nothing the way that he lives his life. It's nothing. It's like I I wish that I could tell you guys everything that I learned from this guy, because there was a point where I was gonna make a video about this, and I'm not gonna go too in depth because I want this not to be too long a video. If he decides to make a video about me and make it a big fucking deal, maybe I will. But dude, the amount of shit that we got on him, the amount of shit that he was doing wrong, the amount of evil fucking shit he was doing, and I mean evil shit. It gets worse than what I'm saying in this video. The evil shit he has done over the past 10 years is fucking just unbelievable. The guy should be in prison. Um, but yeah, uh, I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. Now, yeah, if you're somebody who wants to get better and improve with women, who wants to get coaching, you can text me up at 702-841-9909. And I mean no harm to anybody that's in this video. To be fair, I did try to make it more of an uplifting, positive video because I want to talk about coaches that I think are really fucking great, that you would learn a lot from, that would make you improve. I wanted to avoid the negativity. I know some of you guys are so drawn to the negativity. It's a very human emotion to have. But if you can look past the negativity, you look past all the negative shit that I said in this video, and you can actually absorb some of that, learn from these guys. These guys are great fucking coaches. And it's always good to broaden your horizon. I'm not going to ever tell you guys to not watch a coach that isn't me. I'm never going to tell you guys to not do coaching with a coach that isn't me if the coach is going to get you improvements. The number one goal of this channel is to get you improvements. And if you're improving, if your life's getting better, then my job is done. So with that being said, peace.